'Tis the season when airline officials are pulling their hair and counting their money. Today is the peak day at Dallas's Love Field. All flights are booked solid. They're even booking extra planes to accommodate all the people that want to go home for Christmas. The airlines even got together and flew in Santa Claus for the occasion so that the jet set kids can put in a few last requests and even get a little candy and a few gifts early. 3,000 to 4,000 soldiers came in from Shepherd Air Force Base today in 64 buses to add to the homecoming spirit. There's a special military courtesy room set up for them, complete with airline hostesses, refreshments, and games to ease the waiting time before flying away to homes all over the country. Happy homecoming vignettes are occurring all over this immense complex. It's a very nice place to people watch. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judi Hanna at Dallas's Love Field.
I think the chances are very good indeed. To say the least, I'm elated over the prospects, and so is the staff. We're now looking into the possibilities and just what the alternatives are. I think we're going to have a real good, aggressive push right after the first of the year. Believe me, I'm looking forward to 1972.
Does that mean that the city will do more in the immediate future now to push for approval of the City Hall and to go ahead and get it built than they have in the past?
Yes, I think so. I believe this city council has, from the outset, been in that frame of mind. There's been an almost unanimous feeling on the part of the city councilman that the vacillating that has marked the City Hall project in the past should be a thing of the past, and that we should get on with the work at hand. Now, this is just the kind of encouragement we all need, and as I say, I'm highly optimistic right now.
Commissioner, what is the status of the budget at this time?
All of the figures from the various officials and departments have been submitted to our auditor, who is our budget officer. He is working on them and is probably near the point where he is consolidating his figures and his calculations for presentation to the court, which will be done on January the 10th.
Do you anticipate an increase in the budget or perhaps a decrease?
There will be an increase in the budget, but this, I would hasten to point out, will not result in a tax increase. The commissioners, and I'm speaking as one of the commissioners, not just simply for myself, and the county judge, have advised the auditor and have consulted with him on this matter that we wish the budget prepared this year to be one which would operate within an existing tax figure.
There was 5 members of the Park and Recreation Board and 7 members of the Fort Worth City Council met this morning at breakfast. The coffee was good, the eggs were cold, the bacon was pretty good. We met for the purpose of discussing some legal matters that had to do with park and recreation problems and also personnel matters which you are familiar with. As a result of our meeting, I feel like that 5 of the members of the Park and Recreation Board, and hopefully all of them, have a little better understanding of some of the feelings of some of the members of the City Council. I think we have established or reestablished a better line of communication, and a result of our meeting this morning, I do not anticipate that we will have any resignations on the Park and Recreation Board.
Is the City Council, in your opinion, willing to make some concessions as to the admission fee?
We were not asked to make any concessions.
And I do want to clarify that the letter that we wrote was not a mandate to the council in any way saying that we were going to walk out en masse. The purpose of the letter was to clarify these areas that we felt that were real important at this time. And I think the meeting came off good, and our members certainly have a better understanding of the council's problems, and I definitely feel they have understanding of our problems.
Do you feel you've gotten the vote of confidence that you wanted?
Well, certainly, I think we've had confidence of the council, but yet in this area we felt that we hadn't. I think it was clearly understood after we left this meeting that we do have the confidence of the council as a whole.
We have a really well-balanced team this year, and you notice that when like Dave Hudson, one of our leading scorers at the time, has missed a couple games now, and he's dropped off a bit, and it just seems when somebody gets hurt or something, somebody else picks up the slack, and I think it's got a lot to do with confidence.
In being a fine stick handler, the best on the club, is this just something that was there when you started playing hockey, or did you work on it in particular?
I think I worked on it quite a bit. I'm not that really great a skater. I work hard at it, but when you're not that great a skater, I think you have to work on something else, so I've just tried to work on stick handling and shooting the puck.
What has been your most important goal, do you feel, this year to the club?
I guess one the other night in Omaha when I scored the winning goal with, I guess, just about 2 minutes left to go. It was a big goal. I was really glad to get it, and it was a big lift for the whole team that night to win after being down 3-0, Jerry.
$3.9 million was awarded to the trust fund today at the Community Chest headquarters in the Fred M. Lang Center. The donation was made by the family of the late Dallas potato chip king, Granville C. Morton of Morton's Foods. Morton's widow, Gladys Morton, officers, trustees, and members of the Advisory Council of Community Chest Trust Fund were present when the contribution was awarded in the form of 100,000 shares of stock in General Mills Food. General Mills is the corporation which bought and later sold Morton's Foods. This was the largest single contribution ever made to the Community Chest Trust Fund, bringing its assets to more than $10 million. This is Donna Witkowski for Channel 8 News on the Move.
After January 1st, you'll be less likely to be fleeced by disreputable trade schools and fly-by-night business colleges. You may also find fewer honest establishments to attend. The reason for all this is a new state law that regulates for the first time all educational institutions such as secretarial schools, computer schools, and flight schools. All so-called proprietary schools will be required to meet certain state regulations in order to stay in business. The only exemptions will be establishments that are already regulated, such as barber colleges. On the surface, and probably in practice, the law is a good one. It'll end abuses in the field and protect most honest businesses from fraudulent competitors. The only problem is that the law requires the posting of a $25,000 bond in order to meet requirements, and some proprietors, particularly of flight schools, say bonding companies won't handle them because of vague aspects of the law. A group of flight school owners have just formed an association with their first meeting here at Meacham Field. Of the group of 30 schools, only one had gotten the required bond, and he had arranged the bond through his brother, a bank officer.
Apparently, this is not something that's unique to the flight schools. The condition of the bond as set out in the statute and in the regulations promulgated by the Texas Education Agency are apparently so broad and so vague and so general that bonding companies, insurance companies who are in the business of issuing surety bonds, are apparently scared to death of the thing. The condition of the bond is such that you can imagine some very unjustified complaints opening the door to liability for the bonding company. And because of this broad vagueness that's available to these people so far, no one is willing to sell a bond.
Gerald Summerford says that if his clients go through all the channels to meet state specifications and end up without being able to get bonded, then he'll file for an injunction against state enforcement of the law, probably next week. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Fort Worth. Every week or so, you'll hear or read a very touching story about a household pet who trudged 1,000 miles across snow-packed tundra or burning desert to rejoin his former owners. Well, this story is a little bit in that vein, but it's also a little bit ridiculous. You see, Teddy here is a 5-foot-tall, red papier-mâché lion who normally stands guard at Northeast Mall in Hearst. 10 weeks ago, Teddy disappeared. Nobody knew where he had been. And then he reappeared. And when he came back, this note was attached to his chest. To whom it may concern, please forgive me for running away. I'm sorry, and I'll try to be a better lion in the future. I honestly think I can be a better lion because I've had a beautiful experience with 3 of the best people and their fantastic friends that I've ever seen in my entire life. God bless them all. Signed, Teddy, the Northeast Mall resident crazy lion. Well, normally from the surface, you would assume that somebody fell in love with this lion and took him home for 10 weeks of beautiful and idyllic, if somewhat freaky, tryst. Or perhaps Teddy was the second prize in a contest somewhere. The winner discovered that he wasn't housebroken and brought him back. But with apologies to Johnny Cash, the truth probably is that somebody with a lot of time decided to walk the line. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move, Northeast Mall in Hearst.
Have to do in order to feed these kids?
We even offered to send buses to pick them up. And they hung up on us, ignored us. I've called people. They never even had the decency to acknowledge our call and call us back. My wife has called and I've called. All told, I say it was 31, 32 times that we called different organizations. And it was the same results every time. No, no. Up until we got this St. Michael to tell us that they would come, I thought, well, there's no Christmas around. I thought that my wife and I both had the idea that the organization just wanted donations, but not what you wanted to give them. Only what they wanted was money. This was my feeling toward the organizations. And we get literature in the mail every day, asking for donation for this outfit and donation for this outfit. But I told my wife until we got this St. Michael's accepted, and then the Tabernacle Church accepted, up until they said yes, I would never give another donation to any charity, other than the Salvation Army, because they do wonderful things, this I know. But now, well, I can't express our gratitude for them, and it makes me feel a heck of a lot better than it did.
The question pondered by the Wolfe Nursery people was how to get rid of the 2,000 Christmas trees that they have left with about a day to go before Christmas time comes. So they decided to give them away to needy families. Jerry Stevenson is the Dallas sales manager for Wolfe Nurseries. Jerry, Do you think you're going to give them all away between now and noon tomorrow?
We'd certainly like to.
What gave you this idea?
We just have an awful lot of nice trees left, and we'd rather give these trees to needy families than to throw them away.
There's 7 locations at Wolfe Nursery in Dallas. They'll be open until 9 o'clock tonight, and they'll be open until noon tomorrow. If you need a Christmas tree, 2,000 of them out here. You can have any one you want. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News, on the move, Dallas.